What's up, you guys? It's Joella! And today we're back with another story time. And I don't even know how to explain what this is about. I do know what it's about. It's about when I got hired at Honda dealership. You know, the vroom vroom car place? Yeah, Honda. And how they treated me, how they were sexist towards me, how they were racist towards me, how the management sucked, how the coworkers sucked, how the job sucked. That's really what we're here for. So let's get straight into the BS. Okay, so let me draw y'all a picture of where we were in my life. I was 19 years old. I had just come back from ODU, and I don't know if I was at community college at this point, but I had just come back from ODU, and I was like, I need a job that could be my career, that I could see myself being there forever. I could see myself making big money. I don't want to go work at like Old Navy. I've had a lot of crazy jobs, guys. Y'all want to hear about that? Let me know. I've worked some crazy places with some crazy managers and some crazy coworkers. But I was like, I don't want to do those kind of jobs anymore. So I need something different. And then I was brainstorming with some people, and they were like, maybe a bank teller, maybe this, maybe that, maybe that. And they're like, why don't you try selling cars? And I was like, you're right. I could sell you a nickel found on the floor that's been stomped out and been through 10 seasons. I could sell it to you. So I was like, let me see. So I called up at the Honda that is closest to me, which is about 20-minute drive away, long bus ride away. Unnecessary bus ride, right? So I call up and I'm like, hello, did I mention I was 19? And at this time, I had my hair in an afro, and I wasn't braiding it or twisting it. So I wasn't doing braid outs. I wasn't doing twist outs. I wasn't doing that. I was just straight afro, like straight afro. You know the difference? You know what I'm talking about. Like, you know the difference between an afro sitting on your head, that's a real afro, and then you know the difference of one with that's been manipulated, right? Mine was just a straight afro. 19-year-old African American girl trying to get it how you live, right? So I called up and I was like, hello. And they're like, hello. And I was like, hey, I was wondering if you all were hiring. I don't know how I finessed it. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how God just blessed me. I don't know why. But they were like, well, we're not hiring, but sure, come in, let's do an interview. And I was like, ooh. So they just asked me to do the interview right on the spot. And I came up there, I think either that day or the next day. And I came up there and I was like, hello, I looked really cute. I looked really unique. And I was doing my hair I always do my hair in crazy styles, but it wasn't in an afro when I went to my interview. But I was doing it, and it was just, like, really cute. I probably had some makeup on, probably had some lip stuff on. I looked really cute, and I was in my clothes, so I was just cute, just bomb, popping, and my personality's there. And they were like, well, this is a hard job. This is a commitment job. This is a job that you have to push for, and this is not a job for the young. This is like a real job. People actually, work here. This isn't something you just flip. We don't have turnovers like that. They do. But they were telling me, like, you got to be committed. If we hire you, you got to be serious. And I was like, I'm serious, hire me. Long story short, they hired me. I got the job. So I at the time did not have a car, I think. All I know is I took the bus to work. But I did not have a car at this particular time. And the bus was I think it was about like 20-30 minutes to get there by bus, and then you had to take a transfer, so you had to get on another bus. I never took the transfer. Never. It was always so complicated to me. I don't know, I just never took the transfer. So I just walked the rest of the way. So the rest of the way was probably like another 20-30 minute walk. So altogether it took me about an hour to get to work. I'm sorry guys that this lighting is blowing you. It's blowing me, but like the sun is moving, the trees aren't. So that's that. But okay. This is so funny actually. It's so hilarious. So on the first day, I think it was training or whatever. But on the first day, I come in there with an afro. Now, for most people, that's okay. Like, if I had my hair like this, and then I come in there with my straight afro, for some people, that'll be okay. Some people be like, oh, you changed your hair. But for them, they were more interested in my look and my personalities and the face of the person selling the cars, because I would be selling new cars. So they were more interested in that than my brains, I guess. So I came in with my afro. I just had on, I don't know what shirt I had on, but whatever shirt I had on was no longer on me because from my walk, it was hot. It was burning hot. So I ended up having to go somewhere and pick up a shirt from this person I knew. And the person I knew was a male who was about 200 pounds. And like they were bigger than me. It was a grown man male. It's nothing weird like that. I'm not gonna put out who I knew over there, but I knew someone over there, and I had to go get a shirt. And I went and got a shirt, and I was like, I don't see any work appropriate shirts. Like these are like grandpa shirts. And I couldn't find anything. So I was just like, man, I found the best shirt. I put it on. It wasn't the best shirt, mind you. It's too big for me. The collar is not a female collar. It's short sleeve. Like I looked stupid. I'm sweating. My hair is not the same shape anymore. As soon as you start sweating and the hair starts moving, like I was a hot mess. My eyebrows were not on my face anymore. I was a hot mess. I would have fired me right then and there. But I still pushed on and I went. And I was late. And then I walked in. They were like, I'm not even joking. They looked like, oh, shoot. Did we really just hire this? And I'm just walking in. I'm so... choppers. It's like a chopper, right? It's really just a helicopter. But I was so brave and so confident for even stepping foot in that building. Like I should have just cut my losses right there. But I stepped foot in that building and they were just like, whew. Like no. And I was like, hello, I'm here. And then they were like, okay, yikes. So they had me go. The first thing they wanted me to do was they still worked with me. They didn't do anything, but the first thing they wanted me to do, I told them, I was like, I'm sorry for the way I look, I'm sorry for everything, I had to walk here, it's hot, I wasn't prepared, I'm sorry. They were just like, it's okay. They weren't being too rude because I'm really nice, so they weren't being too rude. And I was probably freaking out in my head. And then they had this lady. We're going to name this lady. I know her real name. I still know it. I should say it. I'm not going to say it, though, because I ain't got time for no lawsuit. So I'm going to just say Brick. Can we name her Brick? She's as born and as talentless as a brick. Brick. That's her name. Brick. So this lady named Brick, she works downstairs. Remember, my position was to sell new cars. So it was new cars, used cars, and then in the back, it was the people who answer the phone and say, yes, we have this car. Let me tell you the specs, like past the break room in the back, like that. So they just sit down there and they mind their business. And that lady was supposed to train me because before you get straight on the floor, I guess they want to train you for, do you know the specs? Do you know all this? So on my first day, obviously they were just like, okay, let me give you the rundown. Let's have someone train you. Let's have someone show you what a car from Honda is to begin with. I was like, okay. So she's talking to me and she's like, okay, the first thing I need to tell you, she's so annoying for this, but she wasn't telling me about the car. She was like, female to female, I look at you as my daughter. I'm not your daughter. I did not come out of your for JJ. I am not even the same race as you. She was, nothing against y'all, nothing against y'all, but she was not black, but she was dark skinned. She wasn't dark skinned, but she wasn't Caucasian. She wasn't like Asian or anything like that. But she was like, we gotta stick together. I'm like, no, leave me alone. And she was like, I look at you as like my daughter. You're my daughter's age. You're a little bit younger than her. I want to help you, but first things first, I want to come to you as a female. And I was like, okay, what? And I didn't say it rudely like that, but I was like, okay, what? And she's like, hygienes, appearance. And I was like, I know this didn't. But I had already called my sister ahead of time, and I was like, yo, sis, can you bring me some clothes from the house? Because I look stupid right now. And I told them that my sister was bringing me clothes, and I'm so sorry. So she was giving me this whole lecture. She was like, oh, I hate this lady. She was like, you need to wear some deodorant, because I told you it was hot outside. I wasn't boofing. I didn't stink or anything like that. She was just like, you need to wear some deodorant. You need to do your hair. My hair is dead. My hair is done. My hair is natural. You have a wig on. You have a matted, ratted, dusty, dirty wig on. And you're talking about my hair? My hair grows out my scalp. Your hair came off of, how do they make synthetic wigs? That's where your hair came from. So I don't want to hear it. And she was like, you need to put some makeup on. I can't be natural. Just because you have to wear 10 pounds of makeup to make yourself look halfway as good as what you are trying to even think you look like, I don't. I wake up like this, B. Like, I don't know what to tell you. She's like, it depends on, you have to wear certain clothes. I have a uniform. They just haven't given it to me yet. You all downstairs have to wear your own clothes. I have a uniform. I sell new cars. And then she was just basically going on me, saying like, you're my daughter, but I want to help you, and like, I'm the queen here. I know everything. I'm all things car selling. And I'm just like, oh man. She's like, you have to highlight this, you have to study this, you have to go over this, you have to write everything down. I'm just like, okay. And then she would get so mad. I would do everything she would say, and she would be mad because I would do it, and I would do it well, and I would memorize it. I'm not stupid. So she would get really mad when I wasn't struggling, and she'd be like, no, or like she would try to come quiz me, and I'd be like, and she'd be like, oh, yeah, like, why are you mad? And she was just a hater from the jump. And she would always come and lean over me, like, those annoying teachers who you're on the computer or something, they come, they reach over you. She was that. And then she would have her breastises on, like, in my face, like, back up. Like, dang, that lady was annoying. And at the same time, they had just hired an African-American male. And you're like, does it matter race, Joel? Yes, this matters in this story. So they had just hired an African-American male. And they had the main manager. I don't know if he's the owner, but the main head manager was Caucasian. Then I don't even know if there was a manager downstairs for used cars, but for new cars, then there was another manager. He was African American. He had African American assistant manager. And there was one African American light-skinned man who worked there. There was one other female. She was Caucasian. There was one dark-skinned younger male who worked beside me. And then the rest of them were pretty much just stuck-up Caucasian males, to be honest. And at this point, yeah, that was all that was there. Stuck-up Caucasian males. Later on came an Asian male. But for the most part, it was just the minorities and the females right here. It went black, female, black. And the rest of them were white. And then they had just hired a new African-American male. He sat on the other side with all the white men. So he didn't have to do anything that I did. And I was talking to him, and I was like, so why aren't you doing this stuff? He's like, yeah, they don't have me doing that. They have me selling cars. They have me out here. I'm doing like what I'm supposed to be doing. And you have to take classes on the computer. You have to go to actual classes to study and all that. What time am I at? Okay. Oh, excuse me. So he was like, yeah, I'm not doing any of that, but we all had to take classes. Even if you've been there, you still have to take classes and update yourself and go to seminars and stuff. And he was like, yeah, I don't have to do any of that. And I was like, man. And then eventually she moved me downstairs. They did not move me downstairs, but she moved me downstairs to start studying with her. And I was like, oh, hold up. I'm not getting down here. I'm not about to work at the hello, welcome to Honda section. I'm in the, hello, can I sell you this new car section? And I guess they doubted me because it was just a rocky start. And she kept talking, I guess, putting things in their ear. So, I was talking to the managers, and I was like, I'm not going to be downstairs. And they're like, no, everyone has to be down there, something. And then they would also give me little hints like, if you want to be upstairs, you got shows you want to be upstairs. Because right now, some people are saying you should be downstairs. I'm like, do they run the company or do y'all? So she was trying real hard to get me down there. I eventually went like that to her, and I went upstairs. And that dude actually had to eventually come down with me because I was like, he's not doing it. Why am I doing it? What's the point? And he eventually had to come downstairs too and start learning stuff. And then we both went upstairs. And I was like, in your face. And this lady, what I named her Brick, she always wanted to be upstairs. She was never allowed to be upstairs. Her job was downstairs. That's where her little minions were. But she always wanted to come upstairs. And they always told her, like, you're not supposed to be up here. Go downstairs. We got everything handled up here. Because she would come up there and try to be the boss, walk around to everyone's desk, see what's going on, see what's good, see what's popping, check on them. Like, we're good up here. We're dandy. Do you see our sales? We're good and dandy. Now, that's another thing. You could not tell me I was not selling those cars. You could not tell me. One thing for sure, I was selling those cars. Like, I was selling those cars, y'all. I'm 19 years old. I was the youngest one in there selling those cars. Never sold a car a day in my life. I done sold shirts at clothing stores. I done sell burritos at restaurants. Never have I ever sold a car. Do you know how much a freaking car costs? And do you know people trusted and listened to me? But they did. And I was selling them, like, I was knocking them out. And the good thing about my hustle was that I stood outside the whole day. I don't care if it was hot, if it was cold, if it was raining. I got an umbrella. I stood underneath there on little tents. I don't care what the weather was. I was outside. Like, hi, do you need help? Hi, do you what kind of car are you looking for? Hey, are you looking for a new car? Hello, I greeted everyone. Even if they weren't looking for a new car, I directed them where to go. And my managers love that about me. They love the hustle, they love the drive. And the other people who work there, they're like, you don't have to do that to get these sales, but they low-key were hating. They were mad because I was taking all their customers. Now, if you've already been at a car salesman person, you might have customers you have to call, just keep calling, and some of them come back, some of them don't. But if someone walks on the lot, they're trying to buy a car. If someone walks into Target, they want a bar of soap, but they might leave with no bar of soap because they don't see their kind, or they don't like the price of it, right? Or most likely, you take the time to sit there, get in your car or whatever and drive there, you're going to buy whatever you're there for. Or you're hopping around trying to compare the prices and see what's good. So it's my job to sell it to you, right? And I had my job down packed. So they were low-key mad. And then they would low-key start standing out there and try to jump in front of me. Not low-key, high-key. They would try to like stand out there and jump in front of me, or be like, you can't have these customers, And car salesmen, they smoke all the time. So they would stand by the smoke thing and then try to run out there with their smoking breath. Like, they don't want to talk to you. They want to talk to me. And eventually I got my look together. No, I did not go from natural to permed. I didn't do none of that. But I did still wear my afro. I did wear braid outs. I wore my hair in buns. I wore my hair blow dried once. And when I tell you, those Caucasian lovely people went crazy. They're like, oh my God, you should wear your hair like this more often. Girl, you should go burn your ends every day and then come tell me about that brittle 3 pieces of blondness. Like, I don't want to hear about it. I'm not. You're not going to tell me how to wear my hair. Like, I have a big problem with these people. So eventually, they call it crabbing. When you stand outside and you catch all the people, you're crabbing, right? So I was doing a good job. I was making those sales. Even if I couldn't finish a sale because I wasn't too good with the numbers and I just didn't know what the heck I was talking about. All I knew was this is the car. These are the fun facts that these other car salesmen don't mention at the other places and in my place. These are the specs. This is the cool button that does this. I know your age. I know what you're looking for. So I'm going to tell you all those things. When I tell you I could sell a car to you, I could sell a car to you. I sold those cars, but I couldn't finish my deals because I didn't know the numbers. So I ended up having to split my deals. Sucked, and then I would have to split my money, and then on the board they would like cut my thing in half and be like half her, half him. And people loved when I was out there because they're like, okay, she has a customer. I'm going to get half that money because she can't finish her deal. So I eventually learned how to finish my deals because you're not about to sit here and keep robbing me for my hard work, stand outside here in this cold, and you just come here, let me sell. Because when the other half of selling it, go into the lot and get in the next car because you might have to go to a different lot, pick the car up. You have to walk them through. You got to call them, all that. The other half is just sitting there at a desk saying, these are the numbers. You don't like the numbers? We can change the numbers. You take it to the manager. He's like, change the numbers, but we're low-key going to bring it back up at the end so it doesn't matter. And that's that. It's really simple once you know how to do it. I just didn't know how to do it at the time. So they were just robbing me for my money and for my hard work, really, which was effed up. I was upset. Like, that's not cool. You're taking my money, and you know you're taking my money. And you know what they could have done? They could have just been a cool person, because sometimes there was that girl who sat beside me. She was a halfway cool person, and sometimes she would just help me and not take my money. But she would just help me and be like, let me just show you. And then other times I'd be like, no, take half the deal. Because sometimes she would help me do more than what she really needed to do. And she's like, no, I got you, girl. I got you. And, some people, they jumped on it. They would ask the managers, can I help her with this deal? Like, this is a good customer. Can I help her with this deal? I got it. I don't need you. Lazy bums. And the manager eventually saw that I was pulling in some good customers. I was keeping the customers. My personality was getting these people to stay. I would get old people, young people, families, single people, people looking for just 4 wheels. I would get all of them, So a manager eventually was like, stay outside. You're doing great. Come again? Like, what do you mean stay outside? So the main manager, not my manager, the 2 African American managers, but the Caucasian manager, he was eventually like, stay outside because you're doing great. You're pulling them really in. You're really good at this crabbing stuff. And I was like, okay, thank you. But like, oh, that feels good. I was like, thank you, but like, I'm not about to spend my whole day outside when these grown men are sitting inside, stealing my money, sitting inside, and they're not doing anything. And then if there's too many customers, so I stand outside for 5 hours, maybe get one sale out of that, maybe, or at least one customer that calls back or whatever, and they sit in the showroom, and then the customer comes in there and they get it because I already done did all the work. Why do I have to stand outside? Because no one else is out here. And it's like I'm outside flipping a sign or something. Like, no. And he was like, but you're doing so good at it, but that's not my job. That's not my title. So I eventually stopped doing it. And anytime I was sitting down at my desk, he would be like, if you're not studying, if you're not taking a class, go out there. So they eventually just made me stand outside the whole freaking day. And I was just like, oh, this is not it. This is not it. This is not what I signed up for. What the heck is my desk for? But he really liked that. I guess he was trying to build something in me, but I don't want to be built that way. Sorry to tell you about it. And you would see my other coworkers. They had been there for a little bit longer, but you would see my other coworkers sitting there, feet propped up, laid back on the phone, playing games, chilling. Straight chilling. Some of them smoked on the job. Some of them drank on the job. Some of them went and took their kids to daycare on the job. They ran around town in the new cars on the job. They took the cars to go for their lunch break. It was crazy. And another thing, I wasn't even allowed to drive the cars. When I first started, it was this huge thing. I think you had to be 21 to drive the car. I was 19 and I couldn't even drive the cars. How you going to hire me for a job? I needed to drive the cars in order to move them out of the way from the other car, in order to go to the lot and get the next car, in order to put the gas in the car for the customers when I sold it. I needed to be able to drive the car. It's just mandatory. Like, you just need to be able to drive the car if you work to sell cars. And that also was a hindrance. And I would have to ask people, can you come move this car for me? Can you come do this for me? And eventually they got annoyed. And eventually I was like, bump that. I'm driving the car. And my manager was like, go ahead. And I was talking to them. I was like, how do y'all hire me for a job I legally can't do? Because I have my license and everything. I have my car sales license and my actual license. And they were like, okay, we're sorry. We understand. Just drive the car, you know? And then I just drove the car. And my coworkers, they were salty. They were like, so why are you driving? How are you driving? Da 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 da. I'm just like, back up. Back up. Like, what does it bother you? I'm driving. I'm making the money. You're stealing half my money anyways. Let me just do me. I was learning how to drive sticks and everything. And eventually the assistant manager, who was also African American, he eventually left. And it was so sad because now they were just doing turnovers of all their people. And these Caucasian males, they had no turnover. They could do no wrong. They could miss all these days, not call in, be sick. They could do anything and they would not get fired. Nothing would happen to them. But everyone else was having turnovers like crazy. And it was just so, I don't want to say it. I know, I know why it was, but if you feel what I'm feeling, then you know what I'm saying. It just wasn't right, and everyone was like, dang. So they eventually got rid of him, and his story was so cool. Like, he was so hardworking. He started outside sweeping in the parking lot just to make some money, and then he eventually was able to start selling cars. But it took a long time for him to get where he was, and I was just like, dang, that sucks. And he eventually had to go. So then Brick House, she came upstairs. It was the worst time of everyone's life who worked there. She's annoying. She would call you on your desk phone and be like, hello, are you doing? Shut up. Bye. Like, I'm busy. I can't even answer the phone. She was annoying as all get out. Then she got booted back downstairs, and she was salty in her feelings, felt disrespected, and she finally humbled herself. And she would have conversations with me once she humbled herself, and I saw the transition of cocky, trying to control me, to like, dang, I'm really no better than you. And I just got kicked downstairs, and they only used me because they had no one, because they fired the other person, but they really don't want me, and I'm really ugly. But like, that's how it went. And she would talk to me and have conversations with me, and at this point, I'm not a mean person, so I was just like, there, it's okay, don't feel bad. And then eventually we started becoming cool, because she humbled herself. And humbling yourself can go do wonders for you. Like, no one likes a conceited, cocky person, especially when you're not even all that. Especially when that's not even your job position. When you work somewhere and someone's doing something that's not their job position, like, are you the manager? No one likes that person. Don't be that person, guys. And did anything else happen while I was there? I eventually got really good. I'm not even gonna hold you all. I got so good. I was knocking it out. I was beating some of my sales were beating some of the people who already had worked there. And it was definitely beating the lazy people who sat down inside all day. It was my sale game was on point. I was selling those cars. When I tell you I was selling those cars, I was selling them, man. But things went south. And when I mean things went south, I just got tired of the men hitting on me. It was disgusting. Like, the new car salesmen would hit on me. The people in the break room, the people in the mechanic room would whistle. The people in the used car room would whistle. Like, it was so disgusting. I'm like, y'all never seen a female in your life. And that's because the only other female that worked there was Brick, and don't nobody want that. And then the other one was the girl who worked beside me, and she had like those rotten teeth, the black circle around her teeth. Like, she was not it either. And she like had that smoker's voice like this. She stunk. She ain't got no booty. Like, she wasn't popping either. So they were all like, ooh, yum, we want to eat you. And I'm just like, so that was really annoying. And I eventually got tired of that. But it was super disrespectful and nasty. And low-key, my managers they even like gave me certain vibe. Like, when you're a female, you know the vibe when someone's just nasty, when someone's looking through your shirt, when someone is like staring at you walk away. You can feel the vibe. When someone's purposely too close to you or rubbing up on you, you can feel it. And one time we went to this seminar, and I had to get a ride back because I just needed a ride back. Everyone carpooled or whatever, so I carpooled with this other dude who I didn't ride back down with. But the first member was black man, female, other black man. So this black man, he drove me back to the dealership. He was kind of nasty in the car. Like, he didn't do anything, he didn't try anything, but like his words, some of the music he played, and I was just like, oh. Why, God, do I look so gorgeous? But, it's not my fault. It's their fault. I don't need to change my clothes because I was in dress pants. I was in a short sleeve Honda shirt, sometimes with a cardigan, and it had buttons, and it was all the way buttoned because I'm trying to be professional. I'm trying to sell cars, not my goodies. So I wasn't out here. Even if I was out here wearing a freaking thong and a bralette, that does not give you an excuse to jump on me. Like, disgusting. I hate men. Disgusting. What's my time? All right. And then it was just, you could tell that because I was 19, because I was African American, because I had natural hair, because there wasn't too many females working there unless they worked downstairs. And the ones who worked downstairs, they were all none of them were Caucasian. And some of them used their body to get where they were. And there was actually stories, and you could see it, like, people actually flirted with people. They flirted. The females at that store flirted with the men to get respect, to stay where they are, and to get help. And I was not with that. Like, and everyone's talking about you. Everyone knows. And those men are married with children. Not it. So it was just a bad look. And then sometimes I would wear my hair wrapped up with like a little turban kind of thing. And there was this other lady who wore her hair wrapped up in a turban. So they started just like putting us in a box. Like, these are the turban black females. And it just, the vibe was not cool at that dealership. Now, I don't know about other dealerships. It might be cool. It might be popping. You all might be able to tolerate more than I can. You all might not pick up on certain cues, and you all might not be down for your self-respect and for your people like I am, but I am. And that was just not it for me. The disrespect, the catcalling, the I need to be outside crabbing all day, reeling them in, the different standards, the way they kept coming at my head.